Hello, everyone, and welcome to Below the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and thank you once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on our show or you have a bright idea that you want to see us put on this show, drop them in those comments below or hit us on any one of our social media outlets. Holler at us, we holler back. Yes, we back up in here for another fun-packed show. And before we get into all that, I want to thank you guys for your support and thank you for tuning in. And all the comments are greatly appreciated. We appreciate you guys deeply. But now that I've said that, let me introduce you to our own sports almanac here at Blow the Whistle Sports. He's the man of the hour, and he goes by the name of Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
Man, feeling great. It is March Madness finally.
Yes, sir.
For our sports nerds, we got 4 holidays. The start of the football season, the World Series, the Super Bowl, and March Madness.
Yes, where we get to bring all those brackets out and you get your chance at $1 million.
Billions and billions and billions of dollars is flowing around this weekend as people
they're giving it out.
Get there. Oh, yeah. People are trying to get their brackets in. So, guys, if you're on the East Coast, you got to get it in by, I believe it's 12 noon. West Coast, you got to get it in by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you want to get your bracket in.
Get in as many as you can. It's free, people. It's free. Some people are giving away TVs, money, millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is put together the right bracket, and you can change a lifestyle, your life, and have fun while doing it.
And I recommend too, guys, do both the men's and the women's bracket. You know, but now, guys, you can do the men's bracket and the women's bracket the same way. Try them both. You know, last year I kind of went on a whim on a women's bracket, and I had only 3 wrong out of the entire tournament.
Wow!
And I had no clue how I did it. I just went with the favorites, and it just turned out that way. So,
did you line your bracket up to where your finals were the right people?
Yeah, I had exact final 8, final 4, and the champion.
Wow!
The only ones I got wrong were in the first round, and then those teams ended up losing in the second round. So, it was a great bracket.
Did you win any money off of that, or this has to be perfect?
No. I think somebody had a perfect bracket.
Wow.
Or had like 1 wrong. So, but
that's
I'm still very proud.
Yeah. To only miss 3
wrong total.
So. I think the best I ever did was like 3 or 4 years ago. Remember, I was at like 98%.
Yeah.
And I was leading the pack, and then oh man,
it happens.
Oh man,
that one game out of nowhere comes out, and next thing you know, your bracket's busted.
Down goes Frazier.
Down goes Frazier. But before we get into our college basketball brackets, let's talk a little World Baseball Classic.
Oh yeah,
we did have a classic last night, as Venezuela ended up upsetting the U.S. 3-2 in the World Baseball Classic final.
Oh, let's give it up for Venezuela.
Now, before I get into the game itself, we're going to need to do a blow the whistle this week. So can I get a blow the whistle? And the blow the whistle is to Major League Baseball. Now, this World Baseball Classic has probably been the best thing baseball's had in the last 25, 30 years as far as keeping baseball relevant on a major scale. You have players who you can just tell truly are passionate for their country, you know, going there and representing their culture. Major League Baseball steps in, and you know, of course, players are under contract. So baseball tells the managers, you can't use my player unless you do this way, this way, or this way. So last night for the Americans, Mason Miller, who's one of the top closers in baseball, who plays for the San Diego Padres, the Padres told the manager before the game, You can't bring in my guy unless you have a lead and you can only play him for 3 outs.
Wow.
Exactly. So last night, Bryce Harper hit this amazing 2-run homer to tie the score at 2-2 in the 9th inning. Mason Miller, who is their top save guy, one of the top pitchers in baseball, could not be brought in to maintain the save because they had to follow what the Padres told him to do. Thus, the guy they brought in gives up the go-ahead run. U.S. loses 3-2.
Politics? Sports politics did that to us.
I mean, that's a horrible look for baseball. Look, if you're not going to be all in on this World Baseball Classic, then step out. Don't make it into a political thing where now teams are handcuffed, managers are handcuffed as to who they can play, who they can't play, because they got to answer to you as a team.
Don't play so we know what we got.
Exactly.
Don't step up.
That's a bad look. It's a bad look. But as far as the game itself, the bottom line, the U.S. players just didn't hit.
What team was that did that to us?
Venezuela.
Oh man, no, but who called in? What was that team? The team that called in that said that the player couldn't play?
Oh, the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, we got to blow the whistle on you guys again.
Yeah, that's just hard. I mean, but they weren't the only team to do that. Other teams also told managers not to play their pitchers for a certain amount of time, blah, blah, blah. But when you're in the championship game, that all goes out the
game.
You got to play your best guys.
You would put handcuffs on America's team. How is that allowed?
It's not. Well, it's allowed because baseball has such a domination over the contracts that they obviously don't have a full care about the importance of the World Baseball Classic, even though it has done something to make baseball relevant in April, when otherwise all we'd be talking about is the NFL draft and March Madness.
But I don't know about you, Steve, but that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That
leaves a horrible taste in my mouth.
What is the sports coming to? What are we doing here? Well, this is when all our best of the best is supposed to show up and show out for America. We should have had that gold medal, or at least put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
But now, where are we at? All we can do is talk about what could have been. We didn't even try.
Yeah, it's a very sour taste, and it goes back to what I've been saying about baseball as a whole, is that baseball just does not seem to get out of its own way as far as marketing, as far as trying to push their product. They can't help themselves.
Wow, we see it on both ends. The players get paid an obscene amount of money, and some players lose their thirst for the game to where they're just clicking the paycheck, just maintaining the status quo. And that's from a player side. Now we have to deal from the organization side, where we play the highest level and we get stifled by a contract, by somebody, like, I guess, was it a pissing contest? Well, what do you call that?
Feels like a pissing contest. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, we own him, so you only can use him if this and this and this. But if it's not like that, then he can't come into play. Well, just say he can't play.
Yeah.
Just say he can't play. Say he's useless.
And I give the example in the Olympics with the hockey, the NHL had a clear opening where all their players were able to just go out there and play. There were no restrictions. And it turned out to be a great hockey series, great hockey final. USA pulled out the gold. That's how you're supposed to do it. Let guys represent their countries well and let the chips fall where they may without having you put any restrictions on it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
When you represent where you come from, when it's mano a mano, it's not from within. You're representing everybody in the United States.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And we were brought to our knees by someone with a contract and someone who's in controlling that contract called in just to be controlling.
Exactly. Not good. Not a
He only
good
can
look.
play if we're winning. He only can play if we're winning.
No, they didn't even say that. Well, yeah, but only if they had the lead. Only if they had the lead.
Yeah.
And only for 3 outs.
Yeah.
So very bad look. Very bad look on baseball. Next week we're going to get into our overall baseball review for the season as baseball starts next Thursday, I believe, with the Yankees and the Giants. And so we're going to get into that next week. But let's transfer over to WNBA.
I see you representing your team today. Oh, okay.
I'm representing the Orioles today. I'm trying to keep a somewhat positive view on baseball, even though, like I said, I am disturbed by that decision.
Yeah, I'm disturbed too. But you know, when you represent a team that's in controlling everything, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'll never get mad to look at the California state symbol, so you don't have to worry about that there. But we do want to get into the WNBA.
Oh, so we're gonna do NBA/WNBA. How you like that?
Exactly, because we do want to talk that apparently, in principle, the WNBA has come up with a collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. About time, yeah, because it was getting ugly, and the WNBA players need to get their money. So, breaking it down in simple terms, they basically went up from the players getting a 7% share to now getting a 20% share. Now, compare that in the NBA, players have between 49 and 51% share of the revenue. So it's almost 50-50. WNBA is up 20%, which is still a great majority for the owners. The owners, of course, use the excuse, oh, we're losing money, blah, 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 da, da, da. They use that excuse all the time. The biggest thing now is that now WNBA players can get a Supermax contract where they can make $1.3 million, which is a huge increase over what the Supermax contract was before. So now we're going to start seeing some millionaire WNBA players, which is a good thing.
Are the WNBA players happy about it or what?
Well, they have to be happy of again compared to what they had before. The question is going to be, we're going to see when the season starts, how truly competitive, because number one, now with this salary cap that's in play, there's going to be a lot of free agents out there switching teams left and right. Okay. And we got 2 expansion teams coming in, I think Portland and Toronto. The NBA is continuing to expand. I think they're adding 2 more teams next year as well. So that's more players in the pot. Now players are now going to get more money. Now the players got to produce on the field.
So is that WNBA or NBA?
That's a WNBA.
Okay.
Now,
looking on up.
Now, the reason why I brought the NBA in as well is because next week, the NBA Board of Governors is going to get together and they're going to have a vote about trying to expand the NBA by adding a team in Seattle and in Las Vegas. So I think it's pretty much a done deal.
If Las Vegas is involved, I'm pretty sure it's a done deal.
Yeah,
there's no money
back in Seattle for the last 20 years, and Las Vegas only makes total sense. You already got the arena, you got the fan base. I mean, there's already a huge market there.
Everything in Las Vegas is going to be immaculate.
Exactly. So,
period.
But that's a done deal. I expect them to vote to approve it next week. Probably the teams won't start in a couple of years. But here's the question I pose to you. One of your all-time favorites, King James, because of course, the rumors going around that King James wants to be the first owner of the Las Vegas franchise.
So one of my favorite players. That's how you
one of your all-time favorites. I know how much you love King James.
Woo-wee.
Now here's your question to you.
Okay.
Do you think King James now, if they go ahead and have this vote and they decide to make this ownership thing go through and he becomes the owner, do you think he's going to be the first player in history to play in a game as player owner?
Yes. I mean, I believe that's good for the league. You know, I'm not a direct fan, as you put it, but I am a fan of his business ethic and his work and his demeanor. I love the way he treats people and kids. He's this exceptional basketball player and person. So I believe that's a real good look, at least for his last year, maybe last 2 years, for him to end on the team that he's ultimately owning. But I remember there being a rule where you can't do both. So maybe he could set it up to where once he stops playing, then he just backs up into his role.
That's going to be the big question, because I believe, if I remember correctly, Jordan had some ownership stake in the Wizards.
Yeah.
He had to give it up in order to go back and play again for the Wizards.
Yeah.
I know Bill Russell was a player coach back in the late 60s with the Celtics. So we've seen players be coaches. We've seen players in management, but we've never seen an owner who actually played as owner/coach. So
I want to give a shout out to Glenn White, 1980. He said, "What's up? Thank you for your support,
Glenn White.
And what's up to you too, sir?"
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So NBA and WNBA has some big things going on. So we're going to keep you updated. We're going to let you know how that all plays out. Let's get to that March Madness for a few minutes, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
All right, sorry. Because I told you guys already.
Madness.
Get those brackets ready. We need to go ahead and let's go over some teams. Let's throw some names out there, some teams that you need to look at.
We're going over men's or women's first?
We're going to go over the men's first. Let's do it.
All right.
So let's go over the top seeds. So the number one overall seed is the Duke Blue Devils.
Right.
They, of course, are the prerogative favorite.
And that's the Atlantic Coast. Okay.
Yeah, Atlantic Coast. So we got Duke. Let me go ahead. Give you the other three top seeds.
Virginia.
No. Arizona.
Oh.
Michigan and Florida are the top four seeds in their corrected blankets. Now,
all right, because we have the Big East, we have the Big 12, the ASUN, the Atlantic Coast. So how did they go by that? How did they do that?
In the Southeast Conference. So Arizona is the Big 12, Michigan is the Big 10, Florida's the Southeast Conference, and then Duke is the ACC.
Okay, so I get it. They go across the top of every conference and go that's how you break it down. Okay.
Essentially. But then other teams that keep an eye on who are going to be perennial threats. We got Houston, we got Connecticut, Iowa State, and Purdue. May end up sneaking into that number one, knocking off the number one seed to get to that Final Four. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, do your homework, kind of do a little practice, mix it up a little bit, and have fun with it. That's my advice to you. Make the most of it. I like to do at least 6 or 7 brackets.
I do a little bit more than that because, like I told you, and I do multiple brackets. You do the common sense bracket where you do the favorite to unfavorite ratio, and then you do the one, and then when you get to those points where it's a team that's ranked 2 and this team is ranked 4, that's where you get the upsets at. You have to mix it up on some of the brackets, but common sense, the teams that are hot. And if you don't know the teams that are hot, go to the March Madness website and it lets you know to help you out. I want to help anybody out because this is wide open for anybody. Get out there and win your TV, a car, some money. A lot of players do them, and they have their own brackets they set up where if you come at the top of it, and you have to find those because sometimes you can get in one where it only has a couple hundred people because it's not that well known. And then that's a little bit easier to get a bracket to win. I'm trying to give you guys all the pointers out there because there are multiple brackets out there. You know, you have your ESPN, that's like number one in everything. Then you got your Yahoo, you got your not about to say ESPN again. You got your CBS Sports, you got RTS Sports. It's a lot of websites out there, and then you have players that have their own that's trying to generate people coming to their website that have their own brackets that you can make money off of and win cars, TVs, etc., etc. Get out there and get in, jump in.
Gotta get in. I'm with you there.
The water's fine.
So as I mentioned, you should try the women's as well. Let me give you the women's top seed. So UConn, number 1 overall seed, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. So those are the top ones. And then the number 2 seeds, you got Vanderbilt, LSU, Iowa, and Michigan. So that should be a fun tournament as well.
Yes. Especially with women's sports blowing up the way it is. Not just blowing up, but being more significant than their counterparts, because boxing, boring. Women's boxing, not so boring. Carissa Shields beats the brakes off of women convincingly, but the women are in it to win it. They're trying to fight. They're fighters. In boxing, male boxing, we get The Young and the Restless or Days of Our Lives. Yes, I'm saying those names because it's more of a soap opera than an actual boxing match. As you guys know, we have Mayweather versus Mike Tyson coming up. Does that even sound right?
No.
Heavyweight versus what weight did
Mayweather? Maybe was a welterweight, but you could say maybe light middleweight. You can put him in that category.
Light middleweight against Iron Mike Tyson. I want y'all to think about that.
Yeah.
And then wonder why I'm calling it a soap opera. It's ridiculous. But enough about that. Where are we going to now, Steve?
Well, we got to close out with a little bit of football. We're going to get a little bit this week. We've been doing a lot of football coverage on this free agency. I just want to ask you just real quick. Any particular moves that stand out to you that you've seen in the last week and a half? Anything that you feel has moved the needle?
Oh, man. Not to toot my own horn, but shout out to you, Dan Morgan over there. You go, boy. Did you see what Carolina did? Dan Morgan's out there making gangster trades. He's out there and he's moving the needle across the board. Carolina has addressed their defensive needs, and in the draft, we can feel comfortable with picking the best person off the board.
Mm-hmm.
They also matched Bryce Young back with his favorite wide receiver in college. Not to mention Carolina's already deep at wide receiver. We're getting it together, and it's a prayer, it's a hope that Leggett comes back from Chad Johnson's camp, a new man with a new purpose, with some
hands,
focus,
hands
amongst hands, keeping your feet in bounds, paying attention to the line, not catching the ball and then always getting he's out of bounds. But not like I said, not to toot my own horn. We let Rico Dotto go, but we picked up AJ Dillon.
Okay.
Carolina is deep at running back. Bryce Young is looking nice out there. He's going to shine this season. Shine. But, hey, like I said, not to toot my own horn. Shout out to you, Glenn White. Shout out Apple Pie Lord 7. Woo! And we got my boy out there. What's up, Derek? Derek Ori. But
I saw a quiet move. Before we close out, though, I saw a quiet move. Marquise Hollywood Brown, who, for whatever reason, just never could get his full footing in Kansas City. He ended up getting traded to the Eagles. I guess this is the move. Yeah, this is the move now. that will almost pretty much assure that A.J. Brown will be gone come June 1st.
I
When
don't mean that, Steve.
they can
I don't mean that.
they can release him.
That's a generational talent. Yes, he's a diva. Yes, he is a sore on that sideline. But with all that being said, he's still a plus on that sideline. Now, me and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I understand where the Philly people are coming from, because soon as I said that y'all need to get the cancer off your team, I felt like I was about to get jumped. I was around a lot of Philly fans. They didn't appreciate me saying that what's the wide receiver's name, Steve?
You talking about for the Eagles?
Yeah.
A.J. Brown?
They didn't appreciate me saying that he's a cancer. They thought it was okay for him to act the way that he acted. And I said, that's why he's acting out.
Okay, well, obviously they don't care about winning then. I mean, if you want to have a winning organization, your quarterback has to be comfortable. And if he got a wide receiver acting like a diva, and every time he has a bad play or a bad whatever, he's getting called out.
Shout out to you, Derek. I see you. Angel City Riot, Cali Cat Pack, Roaring Riot. Yes, sir. Our season's on the way.
Anything else you want to add to close out?
What's up?
You want to say anything else on Carolina? I know you're feeling good about what you've seen.
Well, I feel good. Carolina looks good. But with that being said, we got to put a major foot in the South and make that major step up. I predict that we win our division. I predict we go back to the playoffs.
All right.
I got to see what wide receivers are we leading with. Is Horn going to be in the lineup? Are we going to do a four wide receiver set? What's in store? We got new stuff going on. Coach Canales is not calling the plays anymore. So there's a lot. Yes, Andy Dalton. I believe he got it traded. He got traded today.
Yeah, he was sent on.
And that's another thing. I'm glad some Apple Pie Lord, he got traded. We got a 7th round pick for Andy Dalton, but Carolina back in the day let Cam Newton walk for nothing.
Nada.
If Carolina, if they knew they didn't want to keep Cam Newton, if they would have kept their mouth shut, we could have got a 3rd or 4th round pick, a couple picks for Cam Newton. But they let it be known that we weren't keeping him. So nobody, they're going to drop him. If we want him, we can pick him up off of the waiver wire. It brings something to it when you say we get a 7th round pick for Andy Dalton. Wow. Yeah. But that's all I got to say.
All right, well, that's all I got to say this week. Like I said, we're going to have a whole lot more coming in the next couple of weeks. As I told you before, next week will be our baseball preview.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get into more about, getting closer to the draft.
Yes, sir.
And we're almost down to the last few weeks of the NBA season, so we need to get into talking about some NBA playoffs. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what I'm seeing right now.
Hey, give me my shirt. He said, I have an Angel City NFC South Division t-shirt. Hey, man, make sure it's a 4X. I don't want to be wearing that where everybody can see all
no tightness here. We don't need that. Really no tight shirt.
And I'll wear it on the air. Hey, you don't have hey, send it in. I will wear it on the air proudly.
Yes,
my Angel City Right t-shirt. And for all my Panther people out there, I'm gonna wear it on Panthers Corner also. Because I got an update coming to Panthers Corner. Y'all stay tuned. But thank y'all for tuning in. Tell a friend, tell another friend to subscribe. And you guys, hit that like button. That's for free. Let us know where we at. If you don't agree or if you agree, drop them in those comments. Let us know. We holler back. But, hey, guys, we'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Blow the Whistle Sports. Peace out.
Peace out.